Thank you, I stammered as I blushed again. What are you doing tonight? He asked with a soft smile. Stunned, not believing my ears as I turned and I looked directly into his eyes again. Nothing, really. I was just going to retrieve my wagon and cook supper before settling in front of the fire to read a book. With a glint in his eyes, he asked, Why don't you join me tonight in Kokiri Forest for the annual Spring Night celebration? It is a celebration feast that happens the night before the Spring Festival. No shit, Sherlock! Without hesitation, I took him up on his offer. I would love to go, I said with a soft smile. I will pick you up this evening. Oh, sorry, that's like, I will pick you up this evening, Link said with a grin. There's no paragraph shifts between their language. It's kind of annoying. Just then a deep voice rumbled through the garden. Jenna, my dear friend, how have you been? A grandfatherly face appeared before me. With a smile, I curtsied before the king. He's dead! He died! That's why Zelda sends Link back in time so he's not in pain when she's trying to be queen! Ugh! Ow, I just hit my head on my wall. Ow. Okay. King Zelda, my old friend, how have King Zelda? Zelda is not a surname! What the fuck? Okay. King Zelda, my old friend, how have I missed you? I had been just fine. It is really nice to see you again, I said with excitement in my voice. As always, the king thought of me as a daughter and always looked forward to the day when I would arrive in Hyrule for the annual Spring Festival. He always liked to see what new merchandise I have picked up through my travels since the last time I was there, and most of the time he would buy something from me. But he always liked it when I showed up since I would bring lots of fun and happiness. As I looked at the king, I realized I was somewhat at home. Mary Sue? Up to 11. As he started to approach me, I ran up to the king and gave him a hug. How I missed him. Ever since my parents died and I was very young, I never let anyone get very close to me. But the king was different. He opened up to me. He took me into his family and became like a father to me. He gave me a home to come to every year. When I was in Hyrule, I felt at home. Jenna, my sweet daughter, what have ye acquired through thy travels this past year? I smiled at the king. You must see some of the new cloth I picked up in the city of Skylee. The great city of light, I smiled, as the king's eyes grew big. Jenna, my daughter, you must show me what you've acquired. You just told us that she should show you what you acquired. Oh my goodness. The worst thing I think about this is the repetition. We get told the same information about 3 times. So, yeah. Then he took my hand and began to lead me out of the garden. With one last look back at Link, I smiled at him. See you tonight, I said before I left. After spending some time with the king, he brought some of my new cloth and let me settle in for the night. So Zelda basically disappears from the scene after she sees Link. Zelda's no longer there. Zelda's no longer... She doesn't... Apparently she's just completely alright with Link just going out with another girl, even though apparently she is in love with him, because she really kind of is. Pretty much. It's questionable whether he loves her, but she's totally in love with him. I'm sorry, that's kind of how it goes. Even me, the ultimate Link shipper, will see that. Yes, that is pretty much a thing. I returned to the inside of my wagon and prepared a hot bath. You have a bath in your wagon? I went to the mirror and brushed my hair while I waited for the water to heat up. After about 5 minutes, the water was ready. As I slipped down into the warm water, it felt good against my sore muscles. I began to relax and slowly let my thoughts drift. Link was the only thing on my mind. He is so handsome. I thought to myself, that is the heroic man who became the legendary hero of time and saved Hyrule from a life of darkness. Repetition. Then something tugged at the back of my mind. I remembered that I had wanted to marry one day, and Link would be a good choice since he was my age, strong, smart, and handsome, and would help make strong, beautiful children. Yes, indeed, Link would make a good husband. And then I took the soap and washed up. After I washed, I got out of the tub and dried off. I went to the wardrobe closet to pick out a dress for this evening's occasion. After some rummaging, I picked a low V-cut white dress with lace that held the V together. Ooh. Gold embroidered Triforce symbols lined the bottom of the dress, and the sleeves started from mid-arm and ran all the way back down my arm to my wrist. Next, I picked a gold choker with the Triforce symbol around my neck. That's a lot of Triforces. And a gold Triforce ring for my finger! Oh my god, so many Triforces. Then I had to do my hair. I braided my hair into a halo braid and ran a beautiful silver lace through it. After that, I went to the full-length mirror to look at myself. As I looked myself over, a knock came at the door. Purple Pros. Woo! Welcome to the party! Time to join all the other horrendous tropes. Come! I yelled. Appearing in the doorway was the man I had set my eyes on. His eyes grew big as he looked me over. You look beautiful tonight, Ling said as he took my hand and kissed it again. Then he led me out the door. There were 2 horses in front, saddled for riding. One was a rust-colored mare with a white mane and tail with a black muzzle. The other was one of my brown mares with a black mane and tail. The one he had gotten was the one with the white star on her forehead, the one who I named Star Dancer. He led me to my mare and helped me into the saddle. Then he mounted the other horse. Looking back at me, his eyes seemed to glow in the moonlight. Follow me. I will lead the way. Then he booted the horse in the legs and took off at a slow gallop. Then I followed. We rode to the south side of Hyrule Field and came upon a long, dark tunnel. This way, Link called. Through here. I watched as Link disappeared into the tunnel. Then I followed. At the other end, we crossed a bridge and then into what looked like a village. We know nothing about Link. Well, I mean, obviously we know a little bit about Link because he's the hero of time. But, like, we don't know anything about him in the games. You haven't given him a personality. The only personality he has is that he's in love with Jenna. There's nothing else. Why is there nothing else? This is a friggin' long chapter. Holy shit. Okay. Little people wearing green clothes that looked like kids started to surround us as we stopped. This is the Kokiri village, the place where I was raised, Link said as he dismounted. After I dismounted, one of the kid-like Kokiri took our horses to tend to them. As I walked through the village, the childlike people began watching me. They all seemed very curious to who I was. As I looked around at them, I noticed that they had something floating around them. As I took a closer look, I noticed that they looked like fairies from the fairy tales told to us in our village as kids. Were these really fairies from the stories I heard as a kid? I thought to myself, oh, you just said that. Just then, one of the Kokiri, a young girl, approached me. My name is Saria. What's yours? The young girl asked. My name is Jenna. It's a pleasure to meet you, I replied. Are you the one that came with my friend Link to for our spring night festival? Saria's eyes seemed to glow at that moment. Yes, he invited me, I said as a smile crossed the Kokiri girl's face. Saria also has no problem with this. I could tell that she knew I had my eyes set on Link, though she remained silent about it. There were male Kokiri as well. One in particular was one named Mido. He was the leader of the Kokiri and a dear friend of Saria and Link. He's not a friend! He hates them! Well, he hates Link. He's not a... whatever. He had a sense of humor, but he yet remained stern and headstrong, for he was their leader and was responsible for their lives. It was time for the feast, suddenly, without paragraph break. Saria gestured for me to join them at the feast table. She led me to the seat next to Link. As I sat down next to him, she smiled and winked at me. Did she plan this? I asked myself, and then smiled. After a moment, I looked over at all the food. There was a great abundance of food to eat. There was cooked pork and a rich chestnut cream sauce, beef stew, cooked turkey, all kinds of cheeses, bread and butter, cooked vegetables, and even many different kinds of fruit. My mouth began to water as I combed over the food. After I served myself, I began to eat. As I was eating, I could not help but notice that Link was watching me out of the corner of his eye. Oh, my goodness. I could feel his stare, though it was pleasant. And then our eyes met, and a smile crossed his face. As I stared into his eyes, he seemed to glow under the light of the moon. He even looked more handsome in the moonlight. Link is a sex object. As I told myself that I would be crazy to pass up a man like this. After everyone finished eating, all of the Kokiri got up and started to dance. Some of the Kokiri even played instruments. As the music drifted in the air, Link took my hand in his. Would you care to dance? I looked at him and smiled. Yes, I'd love to. He led me to where everyone else was, and we started to dance. We danced and drank long into the night. And to show my appreciation, I even did a solo dance. Then after I did my dance, I went to sit down and rest. I was tired. Link came and sat beside me. You look real tired. Oh, shit. Are you ready to retire? Link said as he put his hand on my shoulder. I nodded yes and tried to get up and walk, but I was so tired and had too much to drink that I stumbled. Catching me in his arms, Link led me back to where I was sitting. I think it would be wise if you stay here tonight. I have plenty of room, and I can escort you back to the castle in the morning. Link looked at me with a worried look, and I decided to stay. And that is how we spent every night together, even up to the night when I finally shared his bed. Sorry, my dog is making weird noises. I'm gonna... Hey, stop snoring. You're snoring. My dog likes to snore. Who's snoring, Luna? Anyway, now that we've got the snoring dog out of the way, I started to know within inside myself that Link was the one I wanted to be with, even more so on the night when I shared myself with him. And suddenly just shift? Is this supposed to be a new chapter? I can't even tell. Anyway, it's a good breaking point because all of a sudden the scene just shifted. So, see you next time. Bye!